What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I am the innocent bystander, Matt Sullivan.
I'm Trunks.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ortiz. I'm Chris.
Clearly, if you are joining our live, it is currently 12:11 in the morning.
Happy 4th of July.
4th of July, yes. I hope you guys enjoy your 4th with all of your family and a bunch of barbecue food and stuff like that. Happy Independence Day, America.
Light your fireworks responsibly.
Yes, please
do.
Don't pull a Jason Pierre-Paul and blow your hand off. That'd be rather unfortunate. But yeah, NBA off-season is in full effect. And today, we're going to be giving grades on the Western Conference portion of the NBA.
We missed a lot. We were gone, first of all, for what, 9 days? And then on top of that, we didn't feel like doing nothing when we came back because we had a terrible couple days in the airport.
And
Yeah.
Nick,
This
his first day here.
Wow.
He's knocking
What a
out
producer.
like-
Ball
We
game
have a
podcast that
producer
night.
now.
Ball game podcast that night.
Ball game and
Yo, this is kind of nice, actually. I
It's
like
kind of
this.
cool.
We have a producer now, everyone. His name is Nick.
Clearly, he's not very good at his
producing.
job.
Do we
doing
want to
very
tell them
good.
about the flight? The infamous flight?
Oh,
I don't
shit.
care enough. We got stuck for 24 hours.
You know what? I'm gonna
That's
be
it.
honest. It was
26
more than
hours.
20. It was
26.
27 to be exact.
We
were
got
supposed to
stuck for
fly out
27
at-
hours in the
2.
Dominican
We were
Republic.
supposed to fly out at 1:30 on Wednesday. We did not fly out until 4:30 on Thursday.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out JetBlue, baby.
But I had a blast.
Come sponsor us.
Yeah.
I had so much fun in the airport.
Come sponsor us.
We played
JetBlue.
Mad Libs, like the Joe Santagato style with
Yeah,
the
that was
water in
for
your
a
mouth.
solid 25 minutes. Out of the 27 hours, Dean.
It was
So
fun.
it was fun. Actually,
Actually, it was fun.
but yeah, so it
Honestly, WR.
was most definitely not
Massive
fun.
L.
It was definitely a
Um,
W.
Massive L, humongous L. It kind of ruined the back end of that trip for me entirely. It
Shout out Luis.
was definitely very
Shout out
Luis for being in our luggage. But yeah, so it was
Still
not
hasn't left our
fun.
luggage.
We definitely didn't want to do it because we got back super late on Thursday night. So we were just exhausted and we wanted to sleep all day on Friday. It sucked. It wasn't fun. The whole trip as a whole was definitely fun, but the flight delays were
We just missed a lot of NBA too.
Yes, we
we
missed a
missed
whole lot
the
of
biggest
NBA.
week in the
And
off
in the off season. Yeah, we didn't get to cover the draft. We didn't get to cover the free agent signing. So that's why we're here. We're gonna grade their off seasons in totality to this point.
Western
So
Conference.
that is the Western Conference only, as Dean just said. If you're tuned in live, appreciate you guys. All right, we'll start off with the first team, an interesting team at that. That is the Dallas Mavericks. So what grade would we give the Dallas Mavericks off season to this point? I'll list you guys a couple of their main moves of the offseason. Obviously, they re-signed Kyrie Irving, 3 years, $126 million in total. Dwight Powell re-signed on a 3-year deal. And Seth Curry signed for 2 years and about $9.5 million. So, yeah, some pretty decent moves. Obviously, getting Kyrie is the biggest thing there, getting Kyrie back. A lot of people didn't know if he would be rejoining the Mavs, but clearly he decided he would.
And they still have bird rights on Christian Wood.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna
I
happen
don't
with
think
him.
Christian
I
Wood's
doubt it.
coming back, man.
He would have been there already.
I don't
I
think he's
agree.
coming back. I think they're gonna lose Christian Wood. They
They'll
drafted.
maybe even be able to sign and trade him though.
I'm pretty sure they drafted
That's true.
Derek Lively,
Are they
which was
gonna-
huge
Yeah.
for them actually.
They're gonna lose Frank.
But overall, I think they still need some 3-and-D wings for sure, and it's kind of a little bit late for that. All in all, getting Kyrie back, I'll give it a B-.
I was gonna
Or-
go B.
Or
Getting Kyrie back was obviously very important because they traded assets for him. I honestly didn't expect him to stay. I thought he was going to either Lakers, Phoenix.
Imagine he went to Phoenix.
I thought
honestly
Kyrie
he
was
gonna
long
be
gone.
on.
he ended up going to Phoenix, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so unpredictable. You just
Yeah.
When I heard the reports that he was talking with Phoenix, like he went to Phoenix to talk with them, I was like, oh my god, it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, once the
Oh,
reports came out saying that he would sign for nothing, it became scary because every team became a contender
Bro,
for
because
Kyrie
it
at that
didn't
point.
seem like he gave a fuck about money
probably
either.
doesn't.
It doesn't seem like Kyrie cares about much of it. I mean, look, it's a good basketball fit there too. I think him and Luka will most definitely figure it out. I don't think there's a doubt about that. They'll be one of the best offenses in the league next season, and Derek Lively will help their defense too. But they still need more on the wings. Like, who's Reggie? What is it? Reggie Bullock?
Yeah.
Like, who else?
They drafted Omax Prosper from Marquette.
They just got
That ain't
actually, nah, defensively nothing, but Seth Curry.
got
Got Seth Curry.
Seth Curry definitely ain't helping your defense.
That's
No.
going all on the offense
But
side of the basketball.
they're gonna shoot the
Exactly.
ball. They're
Yeah.
gonna
They're gonna be
shoot
like,
the
wow.
ball.
We're not going to defend you guys, but we're going to score more points than you. That's
Yeah.
just the mindset they're going into the season with.
It's
With the offense they have, I mean, fair enough.
there isn't much on this roster outside of that. I mean, that's the issue here. I mean, Jaden Hardy should have a very good season next year. I'm expecting him to take a big time jump.
Honestly, I think their young core is a little bit underrated. They have Jaden Hardy. They just drafted Lively. They just got drafted Omax.
Yeah.
They have Josh Green.
Then you have
Luka-
Josh, I forgot about
Luke
Josh.
is the
Green.
best young player in the NBA.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, I think their future is brighter than
People give it credit for.
people give it credit for.
They should have the best backcourt
I mean,
in the league.
Yes. by
Unless,
far.
yeah, and like unless Luka asks out at some point, if they like are really bad again, I don't think they're gonna be really bad again. But if like Kyrie will leave, then
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kyrie will play out his contract, and they'll be able to restart with some young talent already on the team.
the biggest
around
concern-
Luka,
The biggest
you'll
concern
free
this
some
season
money. So
Yes. True.
is still the defense. It's the same thing it
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
second half of last season. It was, I mean, really the whole season was the Mavericks lack defense. It didn't matter that Kyrie and Luka were putting up 30
No.
points a game towards the
It
end of the
didn't
season.
matter that they would put up 120, bro.
Their team would put up 130 and still lose.
Yeah.
It was kind of getting ridiculous. So for that to not be addressed yet, my grade still, like, it's great you got Kyrie back, but that wasn't, I mean, that's half the battle, but I feel like that wasn't the biggest
It's
concern.
the only reason I gave them a B.
I'm still, yeah, I guess I'll go B. Like, but getting Kyrie Irving back should have given him a lot better of a grade.
Yes,
It
I
should've.
agree. If you hit the points that you needed to hit this offseason, or even grab two wings that could play defense at this point, it's a big difference. I'm arguing I give you an A minus.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
mean,
hearing word on the block is that they're gonna be able to sign PJ Washington
that'd be
per
pretty cool.
sources.
I'm a big PJ Washington
Per
guy.
some
so if they
sources.
could get PJ,
And my sources are that it says Dallas, Texas in his Twitter bio now. He's from there,
he is.
but someone pointed out on Twitter and they were like, I don't think that's always been there. And why would that be there if he is living in Charlotte?
True. He might be signing
So-
I could see him sign a 1-year deal and then test the market next offseason or something like that. I don't know. It's interesting. Overall, a B though. You said B, 2 Trunks.
Yeah.
B, Dean.
I'm going to go B minus.
Okay.
Seth
Chris, what
Curry's
you
also
got?
on a good deal.
Very good deal for 2 seasons.
Yeah, I like the Seth Curry pickup.
Even Dwight Powell's super cheap,
return.
$4 million a year.
For
Like,
3 seasons.
They're in the market for a big man, and they're gonna. I think, be
Maxi, they
able
still
to
have
do it.
Maxi. I'm pretty sure.
Didn't they get a trade exception too from getting off the Bertans contract when they traded down?
I believe they might have a trade exception.
Who took
If-
Bertan's contract? Who was it?
Okay, so-
Oklahoma City.
They bought him out immediately? Or no, he's
Mhm.
on the team.
I think he's on
He's
the
probably gonna just
think he's on the
sit
team.
there. He's probably gonna sit there. They'll somehow rehab his value and he'll go for like a first round pick midseason
Probably.
because
Yeah.
that's exactly what
I
they
think
do.
this. I don't know. I think the Mavericks. I give the offseason a B too. I think it was okay. I think it could have been better, but I don't think it was bad.
They
I
did
don't
what they
think
had
they
to do.
leveled up.
No,
I don't think they leveled
they
up.
stayed.
But
They
the
didn't
thing
get.
is,
They didn't get worse.
they sucked last season.
Yeah.
With after the Kyrie trade. I don't expect that. I expect them to be a middle of the pack Western Conference team, probably sitting around the 6th seed, if not in the play-in. But I expect them to be a lot better than they were last season. But they didn't make moves that make me think, okay, now they can compete with the Phoenix Suns of the world. They can compete with Denver. Like I don't look at them as that. I don't even think they could compete with the Lakers, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But those are just some of the teams that like I don't see them leveling up to that point.
A lot of
That's
it
why I
resides
just-
on Jaden Hardy and Josh Green though too.
True.
With
Mhm.
them.
I think Jaden Hardy could take a step up, but still, it's in the backcourt, and you got your backcourt set. He'd be a 6 man at that point. Like, how much can he raise your ceiling in a way? But yeah, all right. So that's one team. Next up, who we got here? We have the Golden State Warriors. What do we think of the Golden State Warriors offseason? Okay, so primary moves. They re-signed Draymond Green to a 4-year, $100 million contract. They got their guy back, and they formed this. They continued to keep their dynasty together. And the one big trade that we did not get the opportunity to speak about, Jordan Poole got traded to the Washington Wizards for Chris Paul. And I don't even know how to feel about it,
Just a weird
to
trade.
be honest. I don't even
Came
know
out
how
of
to feel
nowhere.
about it.
I guess my my hot take from the beginning of the year is definitely wrong. That they would have traded Draymond before.
Nice,
Jordan
man.
Poole.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
That's crazy.
well,
that you
looking
thought
back,
that.
going
It
through the
knows
whole
wild.
season, gaining my whole knowledge of the NBA, a lot more than I had before. It was probably one of the worst takes ever.
Yes. So the final trade details, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dean. I just want
No, I
give
was
full
done.
context on it.
I was telling you, yeah. that,
So Chris Paul got sent to the Warriors, and the Wizards received not only Jordan Poole, they got Ryan Rollins, a 2030 first round pick, and a 2027 second round pick.
which is confusing
They
because I
got
feel
the
like
first in this deal.
right. I feel like it would have been the other way around. No,
That's what a lot of people would have thought. Yes. That's why it's so puzzling. I mean, I understand, I guess Chris Paul is the type of guard that you kind of wanted to have off the bench. You didn't want to have a guy that's going to come in and every night it's going to be an up and down type of play.
well, there had to have been a bidding war going on
With-
other teams involved.
With CP, I mean, it's you get the guy to come in and he's going to pilot a second unit and have it calm down, whether it's the young guys with him or not. I mean, look, he's probably going to make Moses Moody and
You don't think
Jonathan
they
Kuminga
start
better.
him
I don't
and
think
Curry.
no, they're
No.
most definitely not starting him and Curry together. No shot.
Can't do that. They're not going to do that.
You
No
could, I mean,
shot.
they might try.
They might.
Yeah, it'll
throw it
probably-
out.
It's
it'll
gonna
probably be
Steph-
starting
it's gonna
opening
be
night.
Steph, Clay, Wiggs, and Draymond, and then
He'll prob-
Kevon
he'll-
Looney's going to start at the 5. Why
He'll
not?
probably be starting opening night.
Why would it not? Yeah, no, he's not. He's going to be the
I
I don't
sixth
think
man.
they
He's- I
will,
think he's
but
coming
I
off the
could.
bench.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try a lineup of Chris Paul at the 1, Steph at the 2.
They'll probably
Clay,
run
Wiggs, and
lineups
Oh
Draymond.
yeah,
like
they'll probably
that.
throw it out.
I don't
every
know
once
if it'll
but
be
it's
a
not going to be
starting
for like an
lineup, but
extended period of
They
time.
are most
It-
definitely not starting games with that.
5 minutes maybe, and they're like, oh, okay, let's
Yeah.
Just
get
to
out
see
of
what
this.
it could do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I
And if
don't
it
hate
works,
the
it works,
idea.
but,
It's
I
cool,
mean,
but
I mean, I
just-
think Steph Curry does most of his work off the ball anyway nowadays.
that's not the point, though. It's the point of having a
It's-
6 foot,
it's too
and
small of a
6'3"
backcourt.
guard starting.
yeah, it's too small.
You
of a
can't
backcourt.
start that.
Not
Yeah.
in today's NBA.
Not
Where
to-
these guards are 6'7". Every team has a guard that's 6'5".
I feel like it's not on.
Then who's getting moved to the bench?
Didn't I mean, you had Dame and CJ.
And where did they go?
I mean, you have Donovan
The
Mitchell,
Western
who's
Conference
6 foot
Finals.
shooting
And
guard.
Darius Garland.
and where did they
where
go?
did they go?
They lost to the Knicks.
I'm just saying it's not
In the
unheard
first
of.
round.
Y'all are saying it's unheard of. It's no one
It
ever
is
does
because
it.
it doesn't succeed.
but it doesn't do anything for you.
You've never had one of the greatest point guards ever in Chris Paul.
Don't act
on the
like he's
actual
that same
position,
guy, bro.
and then the
'cause he's
greatest
not.
shooter of all time. It's not the same thing as those other things.
It doesn't matter because Chris Paul's not prime Chris Paul.
He doesn't lose his fucking basketball IQ.
Oh my God. But he's lost everything else.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Bro,
You're acting like he's
what is he
washed
good
up.
at still?
He's
got
not.
a
He's not.
mid-range
He's not
jumper.
saying he's
I'm not
washed.
saying
He's saying
washed.
he's not
It's just
prime Chris Paul.
Bingo.
I mean,
Bro, you think I'm sitting here saying prime Chris Paul is
then
coming to Golden
how
State?
is Chris Paul and Steph Curry in a backcourt together going to work in the modern day NBA?
But who-
39-year-old Chris Paul.
who's
or
coming
whatever
out?
it
we're
is.
gonna see,
Who's
bro.
coming out of the starting lineup?
Yeah, we're gonna.
If that's hypothetical,
it doesn't. It hasn't happened yet.
So you're saying opening night they're gonna have
Some
Chris Paul
hypothetical.
starting next to Steph?
I'm not gonna put money on it, but
I
I
was
wouldn't.
gonna say,
I
let's put money
certainly
on it.
would
I
not
mean-
be surprised if that ends up happening.
Yeah, but who do you think comes out? Do you think Clay sits on the bench,
Bro,
I'm asking.
no.
It would be Looney,
So are they starting 6 people?
That's terrible.
but
If
No. Who's
Looney
coming off the
sits the
bench?
bench,
It would be
for fucking
Looney.
That's
CP,
crazy.
that's terrible.
That's
it's not
absurd.
going to happen. But if that was to happen, it would
If
be
I'm
Looney.
just if
Uh,
that were to be a thing that happens, yes, that's the guy that moves to the bench.
I don't
That's
think
absurd.
it's out of the realm of possibility.
It's
I
not.
think it's completely out of the realm of possibility.
I'm like,
I don't
it's-
think it's going to happen, but
I don't
I
think
don't-
it's gonna
I don't
happen
think
either.
They'll run lineups with CP and Steph together for sure because Steve Kerr does that. But like, no, starting together, no shot, no
you guys are
shot.
acting like it isn't two of the greatest basketball players ever. They could figure it out.
Bro,
yeah.
that's literally not the point. You're missing the entire point of our argument. But
I'm
yeah,
not.
it was.
Anyways,
me, you are.
grade the offseason for the Golden State Warriors.
I'm
I'm
gonna go-
giving them currently
They
they lost Dante DiVincenzo to a certain team.
They did. He
They
did.
lost Ty Jerome to the Cavs.
But they got Corey Joseph.
They gained Corey Joseph, which I guess is honestly pretty cool.
A solid backup.
It is
point guard.
not a bad backup point guard. That I see what they did with their whole backup, their backup backcourt situation. Now it's just high IQ players.
If we would have played who we played for Corey Joseph, I would have said retirement.
I would have guessed the Pistons. So, but now he's a Golden State Warrior. So, overall,
The Warriors also drafted Brandon Podziemski and
the
Trace Jackson Davis at pick
yes.
57.
Trace at 57 is crazy.
That's nuts.
Man. Trace at 57.
He's gonna play for them this year
Crazy, man.
and be effective for them. Like it's
That's-
actually nuts.
Yeah,
Well, the Warriors need to see more out of Moody and Kuminga. They need them to step up to have any kind of replication of what they were doing 2 years going to the finals.
yeah. If they want to make the finals again,
I
it
mean,
has to be
those are two
two.
top picks that you've been developing for a couple of years now, and it comes to a point where these older guys can't be carrying the load every single night. These younger players are supposed to be taking the reins a little bit. James Wiseman didn't work out. It's just the last few top picks. You had an opportunity to really build something really super special with all these top picks, and it seems like once the old guys run out of juice, that's just going to be the end of the Warriors
It's been
dynasty.
miss.
When it
They
didn't
should've
have to
traded
be
them all
like
when they
that.
had the chance. To.
Yes, very true.
It almost feels like a missed opportunity.
They
Yeah.
wanted to look. They wanted to balance the old with the new and form a new dynasty when these guys decided to
But
retire.
they're not developing.
But they have not developed to the point where you would be happy with them at this point. I mean, I'm thinking Moses Moody should be a very quality rotation player next season. I'm expecting probably the same from Jonathan Kuminga, but I don't know. I don't know. Trace Jackson Davis will be phenomenal in his first season as a backup center on that team. I think it's the perfect fit. There couldn't have been a better place for him to land. He's literally Kevon Looney 2.0.
I was
for
going
that
to say
team.
the one guy that has developed, Kevon Looney.
Yes, for sure.
What a guy.
I mean, but he's been there.
What
for
a
long
guy.
What a
Come on.
guy.
Shout out Kevon Looney, man. Overall for the Warriors, I'm giving it a C.
Really?
I
Yes,
think the acquisition
Really?
of Chris Paul, I'm giving it a B plus.
just costed way more than it should have for Jordan Poole
I
involved.
was gonna give it a B just because they did the two things they had to do the most: resign Draymond Green, trade Jordan Poole.
The re-signing Draymond was a big deal.
You know,
That's true.
I'm giving the Warriors a B minus.
I'm also giving them a B minus.
I don't
Wasn't
know.
great. Could have
Yeah.
been better.
wasn't great. They did what they had to do.
C plus.
I don't know if it was exactly what
Go
they
C+.
had to do.
And then their draft, who did they pass on? That was still on the board. Was it like Cam
Cam
Whitmore? They
Whitmore?
passed on Cam
That's
Whitmore.
on Cam Whitmore.
For
But
that
here's the thing. They
shooter.
weren't going for guys that could be potential projects again. Like Brandon Podziemski is like he's not
They need guys
He
that
exactly.
projects to be able to play. Like
Oh,
Brandon Pod.
yeah, exactly.
he'll be
That's
able
what
to play
I'm saying.
for
He'll
them.
step in from day one and be a good shooter, most likely. Like at the bare minimum.
And he could facilitate and he
Exactly,
could guard
yeah.
and rebound.
That's why they didn't take Cam Whitmore because they wanted a guy that like right now. I mean, Cam Whitmore is going to be a pretty solid player, I expect, but it's a lot of potential to base there as well. So I don't know. Brandon Podziemski was a good pick in my opinion. So overall, I just C plus. I don't know. They didn't move me either. They didn't fill out anything that they really needed to necessarily fill out too. I mean, I guess Chris Paul's cool, but
It was funny that what's his name? Dunleavy, his first week on the job, the first thing he does is trade Jordan Poole. First thing. And like days earlier he said, yeah, he's gonna be with us for the next 4 years.
all right. Well, the next team, the defending champion Denver Nuggets. Some notable moves. They lost Brucey. They lost Brucey B.
Hi, Bruce.
They lost Jeff Green.
Not on.
They lost Thomas Bryant. But they kept DeAndre Jordan.
Yay.
They kept Reggie Jackson.
Yay.
They didn't do anything else.
They got Justin
Except
Holiday.
for add Justin
Come
Howard. Sorry,
on.
Justin Holiday will probably be a quality rotation.
So off
player.
rip, they got like slightly worse.
They did. No, they
Obviously.
definitely got
Very
worse.
worse.
They got significantly worse.
Would you say significant?
Yes.
No, I mean, look, Bruce Brown helped them. a ton
Yeah,
in the
Bruce Brown
playoffs,
was
bro.
very.
I understand that. But
I was waiting for the butt.
you still have everyone else. It's gonna be fine. They're not
Well,
done in
well,
free
yeah,
agency.
obvious.
It depends on their
obviously.
young guys
Mm-hmm.
and if the rest of their free agency. Yeah,
First round was big for them.
because as of right now, they're gonna have a shit ton of young guys playing. Their
They're
bench
gonna play
rotation
Julian
is gonna
Strother,
be
probably.
Julian Strother, Christian Brown,
Jalen
and
Pickett might
Jalen
see
Good.
the
Then you have a
rotation,
bunch
too.
of young players
And
fighting for minutes and
Jalen
playing
Pickett
their,
and
playing their
Peyton
fucking asses
Watson.
off.
And
Peyton
that'll be
Watson
their
will step in
and
for
that'll be
sure.
their 4 off the bench.
They definitely
Wow.
didn't get better.
No,
Obviously,
they got
got-
worse.
they got
Definitely
They
got worse.
significantly got
They
worse.
definitely got
Not-
worse.
Bro, you're sitting here saying
I
like,
think it's entirely possible that Peyton Watson steps in and can be a really good player. To be completely honest, Christian Brown is only going to get better, I would assume as well. I mean,
It really depends on the young guys.
It
Nuggets
does.
are going to
Yeah.
be fine.
As
They're
of
gonna
right
be
now,
top
they
2 seed
definitely
again.
got worse.
they have their
but-
top 4. That's all they need right now.
They're going to be a top
That's
2 seed again.
good
Yeah,
enough.
they really weren't that deep anyway.
No,
So, like,
they really weren't. Their depth was overrated going into the
But-
playoffs and stuff.
You might say that's why it's a problem. They lost 2 rotation pieces that was on a team that wasn't deep in
Yeah,
the
but
first
now
place.
Christian Brown plays more.
Yeah.
Now
yeah,
Christian
no,
Brown
it-
plays more. and
Again,
better.
they're young guys. Every time they play, they show flashes. It just is about them hitting or not.
Mhm.
It entirely depends on them.
Yeah.
They don't have
Entirely
to be.
depends
They don't
on
have to
them.
be superstars, but they have to be stars in their role.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Overall, C minus.
C minus is fair. I'm going to go C minus.
D.
going D plus. They haven't done anything but lose.
All they
but
did was lose
people.
guys.
And they got
Does
Justin
D
Holiday.
plus even exist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Why would it not?
Why would it not? Why would
E
everything
doesn't
else
exist.
exist?
Why doesn't E exist?
Well, that's a great question. Well,
I-
because fail F means failure.
So, but why does D exist?
Doubtful.
Well, the A's
you'll
are the
pass.
A's are the 90s, B's are the 80s, C's are the 70s, D's are the 60s.
And then F is
You
failure.
fail.
Okay, but why isn't E a thing?
Because you're not gonna give it.
Because
if you
They
get
could
the
have changed
50s,
the
you
scale.
failed.
They could have changed the scale.
I mean,
You want E to be fail?
Because E
No,
stands
no,
for
no, no.
excellent.
Yeah, I was
Why would
gonna
you give
say.
someone an excellent?
or like
Bless
exceptional.
you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I give the Denver Nuggets a C minus. I like their draft.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's about it.
I'm probably gonna say that for every team. So
All right, next up, very interesting team. They dished out a whole lot of money this offseason to possibly accelerate their timeline a little bit, and that's the Houston Rockets. Notable moves: Fred VanVleet, 3 years, $128.5 million.
Yeah.
So,
Dylan Brooks, 4 years, $80 million.
Boo.
Jock Landale, whoa, 4 years,
Sorry.
$32 million.
Yeah.
Jeff Green, 1 year, $6 million.
Yay.
So they really haven't lost any. Well, they made a trade. They traded KJ Martin to the Clippers, which, you know, they were trying to clear out some cap space. They traded Josh Christopher and they traded Usman Garuba, all to clear out some cap space to sign some of these guys. I loved their draft too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Amin Thompson and Cam Whitmore at 20. That's ridiculous. I think there's the whole Fred is being overpaid thing, and I think that's a little bit overblown in my personal opinion.
I agree, especially,
Especially because
For
of-
this
for this team, yeah.
specifically, it makes so
It does.
much sense.
and the length of the bro, it's 3 years.
the Dylan Brooks contract.
You didn't give him.
That is
You didn't give him 4. You didn't give him 5.
Man was
Three-year-
almost out of
three-year
the league.
contract.
You
He
definitely
wasn't almost out of the league. Let's stop that.
That's cap.
Wasn't
Bro.
almost
Stop
out of
that.
Stop
But
that.
Stop
teams
that.
weren't signing him,
He's
bro.
an all defense
Bro,
caliber.
Teams were
he
always gonna sign him.
literally made an all defensive team this year.
Teams were always
did.
going to sign
I
him.
know.
Bro, people
There-
got to stop with this whole Dylan Brooks.
He was
the
never
bum
going to
thing.
be out of the league.
He wasn't gonna be out of the league, but he
I
wasn't
was
gonna be
always
making.
make
he was
12 to
always a
14.
$15+ million guy.
I don't know about 15.
I don't know.
plus,
Bro.
but 12 to 15.
Well, he
He's
got
an
20, so
all
obviously he
NBA
was getting
defender,
I guess.
bro. He's
I
an
guess.
all NBA defender.
I hated that the whole Dylan
There's
Brooks
10
is
of
gonna be
them.
in
Every
fucking
year, there's
China.
only 10 of them.
There's 10 of them.
I
there's
hated-
only 4 because he's
I was not a fan
position
of
lock.
that.
But I think this is gonna be one of the more exciting teams in the league.
Shout
I'm
out
very
JJ
excited to
Redick
watch him.
also, bro.
I
I don't
love
know
this
if you guys
Rockets
saw
team.
JJ Redick's little Dylan Brooks rant, how
Yeah.
he was like shitting on people for saying that he's a bad basketball
I've
player.
been
and stuff.
saying that.
I've been trying to
think
say
he's
the
still
same thing
paid.
too when he was getting hated on, but I'm happy for the guy getting his money. It's definitely a little bit of an overpay. I still believe that.
Yeah.
But all in
yeah.
all, I mean, Jock Landale was a little bit of an overpay too, but he's a great backup center for Şengün. Giving it an A. I think it's
minus.
been a phenomenal offseason for the
I
Houston
was going
Rockets.
same grade. I'm giving the Rockets an A.
A minus.
I'm gonna go B plus. I just think Fred is just a bit too much money, but it is what it
It's
is.
fair.
Yeah, I give it a B plus.
I just think the only thing with Fred, you probably could have got him for less. He's so perfect for them because you needed someone that can set up an offense in some way, shape, or form for all the young guys there. And especially because he is so good out of the pick and roll, and especially because he's a great shooter, whether it's on and off the ball. I loved it. I really did. I thought it was a lot of money, but it still makes sense for this team. It really does.
No, it's a good signing. I just think they could have gone for less.
Fair. So B plus, B plus,
A
A and
minus.
A minus.
Well, they don't gotta pay anybody else right now. So
They don't.
Yeah,
That's what I was about to say. They
don't.
had to give money out. you
And they
know?
have to hit the salary for it.
Exactly.
They have the baseline.
So they had to
thing
pay
now.
someone.
So
yeah,
people needed to get paid. I'm pretty sure there's a team option on the third year for Fred too.
I mean,
think.
you get a guy who's won a championship
it is,
before.
too.
You know what I mean? At least
I think it is
You
a good
know,
option.
potentially a leader in the locker room. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a good signing for that reason. I mean, signing an NBA champion teach something to these young
Oh,
bucks.
bro, he's
Young
gonna be the
bucks.
leader of that. Ime
Young
Udoka.
bucks.
This is
These young
definitely he has a
rockets.
lot of fingerprints on this too because he definitely needed some guys that could. And Jeff Green is a great signing too, just to set culture.
Another NBA champion.
just to
Another
set
NBA
the culture. Like I think that was a great move. But all in all, I'm very happy with the Houston Rockets offseason personally. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they have their Draymond Green stopper, Dylan Brooks.
stop.
The guy who pulls
Next-
stairs.
Next up, the Los Angeles Clippers, who've had a relatively decently quiet offseason. Their main moves coming with Russell Westbrook re-signing on a 2-year, $8 million contract, and Mason Plumlee re-signing on a 1-year, $5 million contract. They did lose Eric Gordon to the Phoenix Suns, which will be spoken about later, and they traded for KJ Martin, which I thought was one of the most underrated trades of the entirety of the offseason because KJ, when given the opportunity, is a very good basketball player. Overall, thought the Westbrook contract was a great value too, especially for the
Very
way he played
surprised that it was.
with the Clippers. I'm giving it a B. I don't think they
Yeah.
hurt themselves. I don't think they really helped themselves too much.
I mean, they're still actively shopping Paul George, I assume, taking calls. At
I don't
least.
see him being traded. I see.
I don't see
Give
him
me
being
him on
either.
the Knicks, please.
I don't think he's gonna get traded.
I don't think he's going to get moved.
But I don't think the
I don't
Clippers
think
are
so.
done making moves yet. So
Yeah,
Honestly,
the Clippers
I
aren't
think-
done with the Kawhi Paul George thing.
I think they have a
They
very
will
good
get
chance
another
of
point
getting
guard.
James Harden. I think they have a good chance of getting James Harden.
It really
be pretty
sucks.
cool.
It really sucks.
What
they
is the
missed out on
package
Chris
the
Paul.
Clippers would make
I have
for?
no idea.
I think
Everything they have left.
I think they have the two first-round picks available. I'm assuming they have all the salary matching necessary. They have
No,
plenty
they,
of that.
that they do. But
What leverage does Philly have? And the only other thing is what teams are going to competitively offer for James Harden too. That's the other question.
Mhm.
Because if the Clippers are the only team that's legitimately going for him and you get James Harden on this team, do you look at them as title favorites?
No,
The Clippers? With
Yes.
James, yeah.
I mean, it depends on.
Favorites, I don't know.
You know,
the Nuggets are
it
still
all
better.
depends on one thing, and it's fucking
Yeah.
health.
If they're healthy, I'd arguably take them over the Nuggets.
I mean,
if
that-
they're healthy, like
That big three would have an average age of like 50.
Yeah, they'd be
big
old.
three.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's just that these guys seem older than they are. Like
Yeah.
Kawhi is only 31. He just turned 31. Paul George is only like 32.
He's 33, going to be 34.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow, PG's aged, man.
they grow
Oh,
up so
that's
fast.
how life works.
Shit,
And then Harden's
bro.
33.
I remember when PG was going head to head with LeBron when he was like 23 years old or something,
Against
man.
Birdman.
Crazy, bro.
Poor Birdman.
Harden's 33.
Harden is 30. Yeah, Harden's.
No.
What do you do?
I said once when I say it. All right, now we could do it.
What are we doing?
We're
are we
gonna
doing?
take a quick technical difficulty break for 2 seconds.
Okay, cool.
All right. What's up, guys?
And we back.
Welcome back.
Anyways, yeah, overall Clippers B for me. I think they did a decent job. I think they might get Harden. I do agree. I think they may end up getting Harden. And if they do, it's an A. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy. If they do, it's an A. And you reunite Russ and Harden. That'd be adorable.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
what are your
That-
grades for the Clippers so far?
Giving them a C. They didn't really do anything. They lost Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon was cool for them.
Yeah.
You didn't play that long with
I'll
them.
go like B minus.
B for the Clippers.
I'm gonna go C plus.
Yeah.
I don't think they really got better. If anything, they got worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
either stayed the same or they got worse.
They
So like, yeah, it is important to keep your guys, but I don't know. I've said it many times. The Clippers never moved me.
If they get
No.
James Harden, what does that do?
Oh, they're winning the ship.
Actually,
If people stay healthy,
Yes.
yes, I agree. They'd by far be
Bro.
the favorites. It's not even remotely.
James
close,
Harden
to
with
be honest.
those two wing defenders. Come on, stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it.
yeah. And the trade would probably be like Norman Powell and Robert Covington or some shit.
No,
47
they're winning the
first-round
ring.
picks.
They'd be everything the Nets ever wanted to be.
so if Dame goes to the Heat and then Harden goes to the Clippers, they're still better than the
Oh
Heat.
my god, that'd be so
Yes.
cool.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're definitely better than the Heat though.
Suns and 5.
But that would be cool as fuck. Stop it. Stop it.
That's a real life super team, bro.
Because they
I
have
just-
depth too.
Bro, that's three guys who could arguably be top 15,
I don't know about Harden anymore, but
15 to 20.
Yeah.
Bam ain't no top 20 guy.
that's true. Yeah, that's a good
With
point.
one of them looks like he could be the best player in the NBA
It's just-
when he's
the
healthy.
Clippers are literally the only team in the league where you could look at it and be like, they're not staying healthy.
That's
Al-
true.
also-
Oh yeah,
I
that's
agree.
fair. I'm just saying
That's
if they're healthy,
100% true.
That's the only team that I'll say they're not staying healthy this year.
I would agree, and I do agree, which is why I'll never actually be able to pick the Clippers ever
yeah,
again.
I'd like
Yeah.
to.
if
The,
they get James Harden, I'm picking
the
them.
idea-
I just can't do
the
it, bro.
idea of the Clippers is so much better than what they actually are.
It's all right.
Fair.
Yeah, but if you get James Harden, then that gives you more of a chance to have two of them healthy at the same time.
It's very true.
2 and 2 isn't going to be enough.
It is
I mean, 2 is
win
I
better
regular
don't
season
know,
games.
I
man.
mean, 2 is better
to
than
win
0.
regular season games.
We've been
it
saying
is.
that they could win if PG
I don't know,
and
bro.
Kawhi
There's so
stay
much
healthy.
talent in the NBA nowadays.
to win some regular.
Look, I'm just saying, bro. If James Harden and Kawhi are healthy come playoff time,
Yeah, them
that's
boys don't.
definitely
They don't
still
care
good
about
enough.
where they place in the seeding.
No, I'm saying in the playoffs, 2 of them isn't going to be enough.
It depends on the two.
Well, and it depends how healthy.
If it's
They
Kawhi
are.
and either of them,
It's not
going
going
to
to be two of them for all 82.
I'm just saying.
But
for
guys
the,
are gonna
just the
miss games.
playoffs, For just
For the playoffs, they're going to be healthy, bro. They're done being cursed.
It
They
also
get
helps
James
that they have
Harden-
Russ.
I hope so. No, I hope they're healthy.
They get James Harden, they're winning the ring.
Bro, Russell Westbrook.
It's
is their
stamped
backup
here right
point guard.
now. I'm stamping it.
Shooting
July 4th.
with shooting.
12:43.
Wow, Russell Westbrook. Oh my
Russell
God.
Westbrook, stop it. Put some goddamn respect on Russ's name.
I don't have to.
That man was hooping his ass off in the playoffs. Fuck.
You just said like 5 minutes ago that he didn't play good, so he got the
What are you
contract he
talking about?
deserved.
I never once said that he didn't play good.
That's,
Said you got what he deserved.
Wh-
You literally was that you or
When
Trunks?
did I say
I
that?
didn't say that.
Oh well, I'm
Did not
tweaking
say
then.
that.
Whatever.
Yeah, but the Clippers get a C plus. I like the Kobe Brown pick in the last pick
Oh,
in
yeah.
the first round. That's
Forgot
my
about
guy.
their draft because they draft players too. Kobe Brown and Jordan Miller. All right.
Sure.
Next up, the other team in the Staples Center also can be known as a title contender now, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, they already were. But
The Los Angeles
oh, yeah.
Lakers, big time moves such as Austin Reeves re-signing for 4 years and $56 million.
robbery.
Rui Hachimura re-signing for 3 years and $51 million. Don't say robbery. D'Angelo Russell re-signing for 2 years and $37 million. Gabe Vincent joined the team for 3 years and $33 million. They lost Dennis Schroeder. They gained Cam Reddish, gained Jackson Hayes, and Taurean Prince on 1 year, $4.5 million deal.
I love this
Um,
team.
They addressed exactly what they needed to
Yes.
address,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't be happier about it for Christian Jaimo.
Do you guys
Yeah.
do you guys remember what this team looked like to start last season? It was abysmal. I actually have it in front of me if you guys wanted
Go
to know.
for it, bro. To start last season,
Their opening night, rotation was Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, Lonnie Walker, LeBron, and AD to start. Off the bench, they had Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, who not yet
They didn't give him
had
the ball
any
at
kind
all.
of role.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Wenyen Gabriel.
Matt Ryan.
Whole lot of
Now,
garbage.
what does it look like?
Now it's Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Rui,
Well,
LeBron,
you
and
could say
AD.
D'Lo, yeah.
I would love to if Gabe started over D'Lo. And then off the bench, D'Lo, Cam Reddish, Torian Prince, Vando, and Jackson Hayes.
You can even argue that like Cam Reddish might not see the rotation. Max Christie might be in there.
100%.
Max Christie's a
That's
baller.
an easy sub. Yeah.
Um,
I was just saying that because he's a new addition.
They also drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino, who I think is very capable of stepping in and being a good player in his rookie season. Maxwell Lewis, another guy that could step in and be capable of playing minutes. in his
Nah,
first
Max
season.
Lewis isn't going to play.
But
You don't think so at all?
No.
I think going into next season, when you have presumably your third or fourth best scoring option in Austin Reeves, you're going into
Third.
next season
Third.
with a defined role, and you could work on what you need to work on with him all offseason with focus on him. Last season, he came in and he had to fight his way into the rotation, and now they could actually build an offense around him, which is crazy to say a year later,
Around Austin Reeves.
but it's true. So, I think the Lakers are going to come out a lot better than they did last season, even than what we saw in the playoffs. That this team's going to come out just a totally different team.
Bro, they added shooting,
Yeah.
which they needed.
Torian
That
Prince
was
and
big
Gabe
time. I
Vincent,
mean,
yeah.
Gabe's a good shooter. I mean, D'Angelo Russell, good shooter. Austin Reeves, good shooter. Torian Prince, good shooter. And then, I mean, you have Max Christie, who's going to enter the rotation, and that's a capital S shooter. I mean,
Right.
look, these are guys that you needed. And then who knows? Maybe Cam Reddish finds some sort of a career renaissance, similar to what Malik Monk did. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But regardless, this was honestly, in every way, shape, or form, it's an A off season for me for the Lakers.
I completely agree.
I agree. I think
One more wing shooter, and I'll give it an
I think
A plus.
Pelinka did a great job, and I can't wait to see if it works or not. I really hope it works.
Me
They
too.
also added
it a-
Damari Carroll to their coaching staff today.
Yes.
Nice. Tell that man to suit up, bro. Another 3-and-D wing.
Yeah.
Considering what the roster was last season, this was
Unbelievable.
complete 180.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I don't even know how they went into last season the way it looked.
Agreed.
I give it an A minus.
A's fair.
I
Okay.
think it was really, really good.
Do you think
is
they're
a little
better?
I think
overhyped.
it could have been better.
Bro, the Austin Reeves contract is ridiculous. Too.
Better in what
Yeah.
way?
They signed a lot of guys that are just better in theory than they actually are.
Like Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes. I think Jared Vanderbilt is this.
That's fine, but
I think Rui and Austin Reeves, a lot is on their plate to show up and do what they did in the playoffs, and it was just one playoff run.
But I think there's
let me
less
see
on
it
their
again.
plate.
I personally don't think there's a lot on
I
Rui's plate.
I
I don't think you're
no,
asking for a lot from Rui.
bro. They were winning games in the playoffs because of Rui.
See,
Like,
but now
they need-
Austin Reeves gets to have the ball a lot more. And I
He
think
had
you're
the
gonna
ball in the.
rely-
I'm not talking about them last
Agreed.
regular season. I'm saying what they did in this postseason and the end of the season to get into the postseason. They had huge roles. They're going to have to replicate what they did in the playoffs for this team to be
You also
successful.
spoke about a guy that they signed previously, Gabe Vincent. You had spoken
Gabe
and
Vincent
sang the
helps,
praise
but
of Gabe Vincent,
Dennis Schroeder is a damn good player too.
but he's not.
Gabe
As-
Vincent doesn't move any needles for me. I know Lakers fans hate Dennis Schroeder, but I love Gabe Vincent too. I fucking love Gabe
I
Vincent,
don't
but he
hate
does
Dennis
not
Schroeder.
move needles compared to Dennis Schroeder.
I think he's at the very
Dennis
Schroeder, I
Schroeder
think
was
he
good
does.
for them.
Gabe Vincent's at
Dennis Schroeder is a damn good player. He could shoot. He could defend.
I don't know
just-
about shoot. Shoot is iffy. It
Gabe
depends on the
Vincent's definitely
night.
a better
You
shooter.
He's
just-
definitely a better
You've
shooter.
seen
Yeah.
him be able to shoot under pressure in the playoffs, in the finals. That's a big quality to have in the
I mean, in
NBA.
the finals,
Bro,
he was hurt for the most part.
Dennis Schroeder
He was
has
ineffective.
been awesome in the playoffs for moments.
He was
even
bro,
with the
he had a very
Lakers.
good
You
playoff
also
run.
get younger. It's not a terrible thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm just saying
You would still
Gabe
rather
Vincent
have-
isn't what's going to make me say this team is a title contender. Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, those guys don't move the needle for me. So my point is the players who were helping them win games in the playoffs this year, they have to be able to replicate that. I think that is just logic.
I don't know if you're
Gabe
asking
Vincent's
that
a
for
good
Rui.
player. Like he's definitely Not definitely, but I would probably take him over Dennis Schroeder. But Dennis Schroeder is in the same tier of player as him. They're low tier, maybe starting guys who could start, but probably better off as a 6-man type of guy.
I'm looking at it.
They're
as-
lower tier point guards.
I'm expecting very much so Austin Reeves to take that next jump. And I think it's going to happen. I think he's going to have a season where he's going to average 20. I think he's going to average 20 this season incredibly efficiently. And then come playoff time, he's going to be that same player, if not better than he was in this regular season that we're about to see. So I think Austin Reeves is the key to this team. I don't think Rui has to do as much as he did in the playoffs necessarily. I think you could have a season where he averages 10 to 12. And
No,
that's
they need
just
more
perfect.
than 10 to 12 from Rui.
because I
They need
think
like
Gabe Vincent and
15 from him.
D'Angelo Russell also give you a ton. I think those two are capable of averaging.
I guess
around
D'Lo in
15.
the regular season, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm not asking for him to be that guy in the playoffs because I think come playoff time, now you have AD, LeBron, and Austin Reeves as your 3 main guys. And those guys are all going to be expected to drop 20 plus. AD in LeBron's case, you could be talking about 30 plus. But if they're healthy in the playoffs, that's all I'm asking for. Just get LeBron to the playoffs, bro. Get him healthy in the playoffs. He doesn't need to do shit this regular season.
I just like how they got so much younger.
Yes,
They just got so much more youth.
I
And
agree.
I think it's important when you have a team led by a 39-year-old LeBron James.
Agreed.
No, I gave them an A-. I thought it was one of the better off
I
seasons. I just
was
think it
just
could
putting
have
that
been
out there
better.
in general. Not
All right. Next up, we don't got to talk about them much. The next team is the Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to take about 2 seconds with them because all they did was sign Derrick Rose and lose Dylan Brooks.
And trade
trade
for
for
Marcus
And
Smart.
oh my God, I forgot
Oh.
about the trade of Marcus.
oh my God.
But besides that, that was really it.
They did
Um,
agree to an extension with Desmond Bain, and they signed Marcus Smart.
Desmond,
mean, they
Desmond
traded
Bain
for
got
Marcus
paid.
Smart.
A lot of money
Through
for
that
Desmond Bain, but like you
3-2
kind of had
trade.
to give it to him.
What were you gonna do?
You could not.
couldn't
You
not
had to
do
give
it.
it to him. So
Um,
that's something you had to do. You can't fault him for that. Marcus Smart was a big upgrade right there.
huge move.
Love that trade for them.
I don't know if it's a huge upgrade
no.
because in theory, you gave up Dylan Brooks and Tyus Jones
And
to get
two-
Marcus
and
Smart.
two for yeah.
To get Marcus Smart. So, like, Marcus Smart's going to be good for them, but is he going to be able to fill the void of 2 players in a season where Ja Morant's going to be suspended for the first 25 games?
It's going to be a lot on his plate.
There
Yeah.
is.
It is, but I think he could do it. I don't know.
I just think my thing is if you're relying on Marcus Smart to guard the best wings of the league too on a nightly basis, especially when he's only 6'3", that's a bit of an issue. If he's your guy that come playoff time, I'm putting him on the best wing on the other team, I got a bit of an issue with that. Like Dylan Brooks is 6'7" and he's built like a truck. Like he's very good on the defensive side of the ball. And don't get me wrong, Marcus Smart is built for that as well, but
It's not the same thing.
height matters. So I don't know.
And the thing that made Tyus Jones so great with this team was he did exactly what he was supposed to do: come in, change the pace, and not turn the ball over. And Marcus Smart is kind of the opposite of that. If he's going to be the secondary ball handler with Josh,
He's improved a lot in that regard.
Yeah,
There's,
but
there's
he-
trade-offs. In some regards, I prefer Marcus Smart over Tyus Jones.
I definitely prefer
yeah, he's better
Marcus Smart over
defender.
Tyus Jones
So,
overall as a basketball
They just
player.
bring different things to what you're trying to do. As it pertains to Ja being out the first 25 games, I'd probably rather have Tyus Jones leading my offense in the first 25 games. But once Ja gets back, I'm taking Marcus Smart over him any day.
I know
Yeah.
that, but
Who's starting
I'm just
small
looking
forward?
at it as like Marcus Smart or Tyus and Dylan Brooks
Yeah.
because you
No.
let Dylan Brooks
And
walk.
2 firsts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dylan Brooks didn't have to go, bro.
I agree with that
Dylan
statement.
Brooks didn't have to
100%.
go.
I agree with
He
that
kinda
100%.
Like he did. Like
They
I get
forced
it.
him out.
Yeah, the time.
He was their scapegoat.
Yeah,
He was their fucking scapegoat. That
that's
was the
how the
problem.
NBA
Yeah.
works.
Shit,
There's always
shit was not
scapegoats,
really his
but, like,
fault.
He played bad. No, he
poked
played
the
bad.
bear.
He played bad.
He poked the
But, like,
bear.
He poked
I'm
the
gonna be
bear.
like,
The whole team didn't particularly play
Nobody
great.
played well. Nobody
Yeah.
played.
And then Ja has his
Uh,
stuff off the court. Like nobody's like
I don't know. The Grizzlies offseason was just
meh.
meh.
I give it a D.
C plus.
Yeah, they definitely got.
I like
where-
getting Marcus Smart, but then they're again another team who the development of their young guys because they lost pieces. So
Who's starting? Yeah, who's starting at small forward for you? Like that's my thing. Is it Zaire Williams? Is he finally going to be a good basketball player? Like,
Gigi Jackson.
if you're relying on him year one, that's the problem.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding, but
So that's the issue.
yeah.
I'm giving them a D.
All right.
What are you guys giving the Grizzlies?
D plus.
Give him a C. I like Marcus Smart. It's a good guy.
C plus.
Okay.
No.
Next up, got the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's been small moves around the margins here, such as Shake Milton, 2 years, $10 million. Nickeil Alexander-Walker re-signed, 2 years, $9 million. Troy Brown Jr. signed 2 years, $8 million. They lost Taurean Prince. Outside of that, let's see. Was there anything else?
They
not-
extended Anthony Edwards. Obviously, something you had to do. So good for them.
Yeah,
Luka
locked
Garza's
up.
Yeah.
back.
You agreed to a 5-year extension with Anthony Edwards. Luka Garza is back.
Yeah.
They
Not
didn't
much
do
to really
anything for
say.
me to like change any type of opinion on the Timberwolves.
They're kind of stuck regardless.
They
They're
are.
going to have some end of the rotation guys in and out, but other than that, their roster's pretty set for the
I-
next couple of years,
I'd
unless they make a trade.
give them a C minus.
Let's go C. Average.
Getting
Didn't do
Anthony
much.
Edwards is
Yeah.
is about the
You
only
think
thing
Cat's
that I'm
on his
like,
way out?
I don't know. It depends how the
Probably.
season goes. He was hurt last year.
trade Ant.
Bro was literally
Yeah,
hurt.
they
They
did that.
traded for Rudy Gobert to try
And
and
then
see what he
Cat
looks
got
like
hurt,
with
yeah.
Cat and Edwards, and
And
he
then-
got hurt. So like, see it through at least before you trade a guy who's been there for what 10 years now. Almost.
Hey, you took a
Yeah.
game off the Nuggets, man.
You did.
Nas
I
Reed
just
better.
I have no faith that that works.
I don't either, but for what you gave up, you have
No,
to.
you
at
have to
least
let
try.
it rock. No, I know, but like, I hate it. I hate the
Yeah, I just
Gobert
give
Oh,
him,
of
I give
course.
him a C minus.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
give it a C. They didn't do anything wrong, but they didn't do anything right either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just still to this day what you gave up for Rudy is just
Yeah.
astronomical.
It's just
Their
very
draft
meh.
was good. Jalen Clark and who else did they draft?
Let me tell you right now. Hold up. They got Leonard Miller and Jalen
Yeah.
Clark. Leonard Miller and Jalen Clark. Those are solid picks. Those are good. That's a good draft. All right. Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. Who? Here we go. They re-signed Herb Jones, 4 years, $56 million. Thought that was a phenomenal contract. Josh Richardson left. Jackson Hayes left. They signed Cody Zeller. So outside of that,
They gave Herb Jones a contract.
they drafted Jordan Hawkins at 14, which I thought was a great pick for them.
What?
He started his whole monologue with they gave Herb Jones a contract, and you
Oh.
just chimed in and said, and they gave
I
Herb
did.
Jones.
I did.
Well, I
start it
was
with
just
that.
excited for Herb Jones because he's my guy.
Yeah. I mean,
What an herb.
but yeah, I think it's a solid offseason overall. I think it's a solid offseason overall for the Pelicans, but like, where I feel like they were the type of team where
They're a team that they don't have to.
you
do
don't have to
much.
do much.
No.
Jordan Hawkins was a good ad.
They just need the teams to get healthy. That's it.
Yeah.
I saw they were also looking at Dame. That'd be a cool move if they pull it off. I don't know what they'd do for that, but
This kid, man.
Mr. Producer.
The light.
You got a
Mr.
producer.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, look, they were a team that could sit still, not do anything, and just pray for health. And I'm gonna give them a B minus.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a B. They did what they had to do,
What team?
which
is
was
this?
nothing.
The Pelicans,
Pelicans.
just drafting Jordan Hawkins and re-signing Herb Jones.
C plus.
C plus.
I'm also going C plus for the Pelicans.
Do we think? I'll just ask real quick. Do we think they're title contenders if healthy?
No.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed.
If
with
Zion and
healthy.
Brandon Ingram
Okay,
are going into the playoffs,
But
healthy,
how
I
many
think-
title
I think-
contenders are there, Trunks? Because that's an important question if you're going to say the Pelicans are a title contender. Because you're saying that they're better than the Suns, they're better than
that's
the Celtics.
not what you're
That's
saying.
not what he's saying.
No,
You're saying those
no,
are
Not bad,
not
as good as
saying
them.
they're better.
As good as them. Because those are
In the
those are title
category of
contenders.
title contender.
They're not in the same categories as Celtics, Nuggets. They're not.
But that's fine. But they could also be a title contender, but not be as good as those teams.
Wouldn't they just?
I agree.
just higher tier and lower.
So how many title contenders are there?
You really want me to make you a list right now?
No, but like, are we really going to sit here and say that 8, 9 different teams are title contenders?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah. At
That's
this
just
in
not
this
true.
league, yeah.
I don't know.
So name your title contenders.
The
Make a
Celtics,
list.
Celtics, Bucks, Sixers if Harden stays,
He's
Denver
Just let 'em go.
Nuggets, Kings,
Miami.
The
Kings.
Kings?
What the fuck?
The Kings over the Pelicans.
No, let
Kings over the Pelicans.
let him
yes.
finish. Let him finish. Let him
Bro,
why?
Shut up. Let him finish.
Yes, Kings over the Pelicans.
You said Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
If Miami gets Dame, they're definitely a title. Obviously, I don't think they're a title contender going into next
Lakers-
season. Personally,
Bro, they just fucking went to the finals.
And
What do you mean?
bro,
The
yeah,
Lakers.
and they didn't do anything.
Exactly, they
But
went to
wouldn't-
the
bro,
finals.
stop. Just because they went to the finals does not mean they're a title contender anymore. They've
They've been to the conference finals 3 of the last 4 years.
Bro, they lost Strus and they lost Gabe Vincent, bro. They're not. No, they're stop.
getting Dame.
If they get Dame, yes, absolutely. They might be
wouldn't have
title
lost-
favorites.
They
bro.
wouldn't have lost those guys
They
if
might
they
be
weren't
title
getting
favorites.
Dame. They're getting it. We got to just talk about them like Dame's on the
I'm still
squad.
taking the Grizzlies over the Pelicans.
I'm
Okay.
not.
I'm
personally.
not.
Are you doing a list of
I'm
who
taking
you're-
the Warriors over the Pelicans.
Are you doing
Bro,
a list of
just
who
who
you're
is
taking
title
over the
contenders,
Pelicans
bro?
or who's title
Stop,
contenders?
bro, relax.
Okay, I'm just asking.
No, he's
Tell
yelling. He's
me.
screaming.
Here's one of the warning. You want to scream?
Title contenders: Nuggets, Grizzlies, Suns, Warriors, Lakers, Bucks, Celtics, Sixers. That's 8 teams.
What about
Heat.
the
There you
Kings?
go.
Heat, 9 teams.
The King.
Well,
Where do the Kings go?
10 teams.
Oh my god. You
And-
just told
and-
us that we're
But,
crazy.
but I
that.
think all those teams are better than the Pelicans. So
That's
no, I'm
just
not going to sit
not
here and say
true.
the 11th best team in the league is a title contender.
But
I just don't think that's
all
true.
right, wait, hear me out real quick. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I don't. But I don't say.
Wait,
you
wait.
believe
Hear me
that-
out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear
I
me
don't-
out. Hear me out. Hear me
Okay.
out. When we do our running back rankings for fantasy,
Mhm.
would you say number 10 and number 11 on your list are pretty interchangeable?
Sure, but the cutoff, it's not like a hard cutoff, like 11's not going to make the title because I said so.
That's exactly what
That-
you
that
did.
is what
It's
you're
not
saying.
what I'm
That's-
saying.
that's
You said I
exactly
have
what you're
10
saying.
title
What you just
contenders, and
said.
I'm not
10
putting
was
the 11th
exaggerating.
team in there.
I don't think all those teams have a chance to win the title either.
You said the Kings.
we asked for title
Oh
contenders, Dean.
God.
we
You
asked for
fucking
title.
asshole.
Okay.
This is
Names
why
10
I
teams.
yell.
Five
They're not
bucks.
title
This is why I
contenders.
$5
yell.
don't give you my real list.
This is
I'll give
why
you
I
my real
yell.
list. Okay.
It's
here-
just
my real list.
Okay.
Okay. Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Heat, Nuggets, Lakers, Suns. That's it.
7 teams.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So 8 teams is out of the realm of possibility.
I'm
but
just saying,
7.
those are the teams. It doesn't matter the
But
number.
7.
Those are the teams.
But
It
the
doesn't
Pel-
matter
So-
anything
so
else.
there's no wiggle room for 8.
I,
No,
the
not
number,
at all.
you guys are
8
looking at
is
the number too
deadlocked out.
carefully. I'm just talking
But-
about the amount of team, like the actual teams.
The Pelicans were the 1 seed when healthy.
Yo, fuck the Pelicans, dog.
Why are the Kings
Why
better
does
than the
Dean have
Pelicans?
such a hatred for the Pelicans?
Bird
though?
I
Rose
didn't
is
say
boy,
the Kings
too.
were a contender anymore.
You quite literally said they're better than the Pelicans, though.
Yeah, they
All
are.
right.
They're not. Stop.
They are.
Let's continue.
move on.
Anyways,
What's the next
B
team?
minus for the fucking Pelicans. The next team is the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, so now I'll list some of the things they did. They didn't do a damn thing in free agency except for sign Jack White. Okay. Aside from that, they traded for Patty Mills and they traded for Victor Oladipo. Who did they draft? Let's see.
Case and Wallace.
Now we go to the draft and we see Case and Wallace and potentially who could be a solid rotation player at some point, Keontae Johnson. If his heart is all checked out and stuff. Prayers up to that man. Case and Wallace, great pick. I could see what the Thunder are doing, bro. They don't give a fuck about positions. They just draft whoever they think is the best player, and they say, "All right, well, we throw everything at the board and hope some of it sticks." And
Well, they
it
have
seems
so
like
many
they
picks.
nail every pick.
They have so many picks at this point, though. They could just draft whoever and just flip it for.
Oh,
They don't need to make any free agency signings. They
if
just
we think
let the
about
draft
it, they
go.
also just acquired
it.
their second overall pick from last year
Yeah.
as well in Chet Holmgren. So,
The Victor stopper.
Who I'm
they
not gonna
just
say
keep
nothing yet, but
acquiring picks and taking on contracts.
my way too early rookie of the year pick.
Well, there you go. Way to spoil it.
Who?
They also just
Who?
added the
Chet.
a former EuroLeague MVP to their roster.
Yes. What's his name?
It's Vasilje.
Yes.
Vasily
Vasily,
Michic.
Michic.
Yes.
The city?
What, I think that's actually his name. Vasily. I
Vasily
think.
Vasily
The silly
Michic.
boy.
Vasily Michic sounds like
That's his nickname.
The silly boy.
Vasily Michic sounds correct. I'm gonna go with that.
Michic. I bet.
Yeah, but-
Michic.
Whatever.
Michic.
Regardless,
Yeah,
if he's a
Thunder
good
did what
player,
they had to
Michic.
do.
Michic.
The silly
At
meat.
some-
Everyone's shit.
I give the Thunder a B plus.
I was about to say B
I'm
plus as well.
waiting for the offseason where
They
the
go on.
Thunder make a big splash.
Yeah. Agreed.
So like that'll
They just
be
gotta
when I
stand
give
pat
them an
right
A.
now.
I feel like there's only 2 keepers to this. Actually, 3. I feel like it's Chet, Giddy, and it's
Patty
Shea.
Mills.
Jack Gideon and Shea.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, Jalen Williams can go. I'd live
Both
with
of
that in a
them?
trade. Jalen Williams, yeah, both of them. Fuck it. But yeah, I mean, look, this team is probably going to be somewhat competitive again next year. And if Chet is good immediately, then they might be even better than that. So I don't know, man. I'm giving them a B+, as Chris said too.
B+.
B+ is fair. Shout out Chet Holmgren, soon to be a top 5 center in the NBA.
Give OKC a B+.
Let's go clean sweep of the B+.
Wow.
First
A whole
one.
lot of B+.
Let's go.
All right, now a very interesting team traded for Bradley Beal. That is the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so they lost Jock Landale. They signed Eric Gordon. They re-signed Damian Lee. They lost Torrey Craig. They signed Keita Bates-Diop. They signed Drew Eubanks. They signed Chimezie Metu. Shout out King of the Fourth Quarter. They signed Josh Okogie, and they signed Yuta Watanabe.
I mean, they're loading up on shooters. They have their star power already. Everyone else is just catch and shoot.
Eric
That's your
Gordon,
job. You stay.
Damian Lee.
You stay there. You hold your hands out.
And play-
You catch it, and you make the
And
shot.
play
For
some
what
defense.
they're trying to do, I'm giving them an A-.
I give them an A- as well.
I thought they filled out their depth so well, to be
Yes.
honest, and I didn't think they were
I'm
very
gonna
good.
do this.
I'm scared of the Suns. I will say.
Dean's a vampire.
He's terrified.
If I'm giving the
scared of
Lakers
Suns.
an A-, I'm definitely giving the Suns an A-.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm giving the Suns, yeah, an A-.
I
I'm
hope
gonna
we
give
see that
them-
playoff
I'm giving
matchup.
them an A.
An A. I was gonna.
That's
I was
fine.
gonna say an
I was
A.
gonna say.
Nice.
My man.
With
I
what
like
they had,
Right.
and like if
Right.
we're talking about the
Polarized.
offseason as a whole, like you got better. Like you got better.
They
Especially with
also
that.
got Jordan Goodwin in that trade too, which should
Yeah,
not be.
especially with that
un-
Chris Paul trade, they
unmentioned.
were gonna waive that, man. They were
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
let him
yeah,
go. They got
100%.
Bradley Beal out of it.
Yeah, it's a
Like
fair
fuck
trade-off.
the CBA. Like the team got better. A
Yeah.
team with
Yes.
Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. So your championship window is now or bust.
Yep.
That team got better. So like
Shout out to Devin Booker,
They
man,
keep 8-2. That's
for
kind of
not running from the grind. Devin Booker, man, he
Bro,
he was with that team since they were absolute garbage.
Well, yeah, he was during those
And he-
18-win teams.
Yeah.
He built that team with the front office.
Monty Williams.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember when
Monty,
they
too.
I remember when they force fed him 70 points.
I remember that. Never forget
They're
that.
like, you have the keys to our franchise. Here you
And
go.
then they
Debo.
lost, and he held up that paper and smiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tyson Chandler's there like this.
Pretty sure Eric
And
Bledsoe was
Brandon
in that
Knight.
picture too.
Yeah, he didn't want to be there though.
Eric Bledsoe did not want to be there.
See,
I can't
other-
believe he really tweeted that.
Other
out.
players wanted to come and play with D-Book. Ain't nobody
And
want to go
Kevin
play with
Durant.
Dame.
And Kevin Durant. And Bradley Beal.
Durant went to go play with.
Who the fuck went to go? Oh, well, I mean, he got traded to the Suns. It wasn't really like,
We also had Chris Paul and
Same thing.
DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton was supposed to be him, but then he just.
hey, man, maybe DeAndre.
I
Ayton is
hope
him
so.
this year.
I really hope so.
What did Draymond say about Ayton recently?
That he was a bust prior to Chris Paul, and now he's not a bust.
Now he's I'm
gonna be honest. I
He's still
think
pretty
he
bad.
might have gone backwards,
He's not a bust.
definitely not a bust.
bro.
he was the
For-
number one overall.
I'd
pick.
take
He's
any
a
of the
starting
guys that
center
were
in
drafted,
the league.
except for Marvin Bagley. 3 of the 4 guys that were drafted after him.
I don't think that makes him a bust, though.
No,
I mean, no,
He's a starting
he's right.
center
he's
on
not
a
bust.
championship
You're right.
contending
He's not a
team.
bust, but he's
He was not worth the number one
incredibly
overall pick,
underwhelming for a number one.
based
overall
on
pick.
who came after
Fair.
him.
Yeah.
Except Marvin
Incredibly
Bagley.
underwhelming.
It's kind of crazy that Marvin Bagley was never good.
Marvin
Yeah.
Bagley. I love Marvin Bagley.
Man thought he was going to be so fucking good.
He was
was
my pick
supposed to
for
be.
most improved last season.
yeah.
Pretty
Wow.
embarrassing.
We're really good at this, by the way.
Yeah.
Whatever we think, it's just the
Well,
opposite.
no, I don't think that was my hot take. That was a hot take.
Well, A- for the Suns, almost all around except for 2 A's, right? Yeah.
See,
All right. Who we got next?
I see. what
Next
you did
up, the Portland Trailblazers.
F.
Don't even
there.
stop
Yup,
it.
honestly,
Jeremy Grant.
That was a
$1
bad
billion.
move.
Dollars.
That was a bad move, but it's
Even F.
crazy if you guys say that it's an F.
No, it's not.
F-
F.
F-
F is
okay,
bad.
it's not
F.
F.
It's not
They
an F.
got Scoot Henderson. It's not an F.
Yeah.
But
Not enough.
but you gave Jeremy Grant the contract. He signed it, and then Dame requested a trade.
And
That's
why he
obviously not
requested
how
the
they
trade.
wanted things to
That's
happen.
exactly
That's why.
He saw the contract
No,
and
no, no.
said,
So
But I
what the
guarantee you,
fuck?
I guarantee you, if
this is
Portland,
my help.
if Portland knew Dame wanted out at
This is
that
my
moment, they would
grind.
not give Jeremy Grant 160 mil over 5 years.
I'm running from it.
Um,
I'm done.
it's too easy for him now with Jeremy Grant.
I
Locked
think
up
they-
for so
I
long.
think they gave-
Asset. I think it's
Yeah.
a tradable asset.
It is. He is a
Yeah.
Towards the
tradable
back
contract.
end of it. Yeah.
He is a tradable contract. but it is a bad deal.
People want Jeremy Grant.
I mean, obviously they signed this contract
don't-
probably with hindsight. That Damian Lillard is going to stay.
5 years.
People want Jeremy Grant for that much money, though.
I'm
Yeah,
glad they.
the
32
the last
32
32
years
million
of it,
year.
the last 3 years.
I'm glad they stuck to their pick and took Scoot, and they didn't cave to what Dame wanted and traded the pick for some bullshit. Like, thank God, thank God they took Scoot.
At the end of the day, it's still the Portland Trailblazer franchise,
Look,
even though that may be Damian Lillard.
I'm just
It's not the same
saying,
people.
with the package they're going to be able to get back for Dame, even if it's not anything like incredibly crazy, to start your rebuild with Scoot Henderson, Shadon Sharp, and potentially Anthony Simons. I mean, and whatever you get back from the Dame trade, it's pretty fucking good.
If Dame stops tanking his own value, bro.
Pretty fucking
That's what I was
good.
about to say. I don't know how much they're gonna get for
You're
him.
still going to get a decent amount because it's Damian Lillard.
Well,
But teams are now probably going to be afraid of trading for him because of the request to Miami.
Yeah.
Like,
but my whole thing is, bro, if you wanted to decide where you wanted to get traded, you should have negotiated a no trade clause. You can't sit here and complain and want to request only one team
Yeah,
boom
or
or bust,
leave in
Wild.
free agency.
or leave.
You've been
you
a
have
free
so
why
agent.
many
resign?
options.
Why resign?
This is
Bro,
not
they've been
the
giving
way.
him I mean,
this is
I would
really.
resign.
He signed like 50 extensions.
You want to
Yeah,
talk
but
about
that's
being
so much
loyal, and you want
money.
to talk about being all this shit, and then you, in the middle of free agency, while they're making deals, you're leaving a
crippling
team
your
in the dirt.
team.
You're crippling them. They can't get back enough assets because you're saying you only want to play for Miami. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's tanking his own value. Like he already
handling-
said goodbye to the team.
You know, he's
on Instagram.
handling
You
this
saw
shit
that?
wrong, man. He's handling this not exactly the way that I would have wanted him to if he was going to ask out. I feel like if he took it behind the scenes and behind closed doors and just told the organization, yo, trade me.
Yeah.
Like, get me out. I want to leave. I think they would have obliged, to be completely honest.
I do understand him being upset with the organization and how it's been going, and they're not particularly good and whatnot. But you stuck around for as
you
long
also
as you
could have asked
did.
out.
Right.
Like,
You should have signed a no trade clause. Like, seriously.
first of all, respect to Dame for everything he's done for Portland and stuff like that. I got nothing but respect for that. But like,
Respect.
just ask the fuck out, bro. You
Word
could
up.
have asked out sooner. Like,
A lot sooner.
I don't want to hear this only one team because you could, bro, don't hamstring this team from trading you for whatever
Right.
assets.
You
they
signed the
possibly
goddamn contract. Your pen hit the paper.
Yeah,
No one forced you to do that.
So what everyone was saying about what Dame should do, he should just LeBron the whole thing. Go to
I'm-
Miami,
Yeah.
win a few
I'm
rings, and
getting
come back to
tired,
Portland.
bro. I seriously, as an NBA fan, I'm tired of watching these players dictate what billion-dollar businesses do. These players on rosters dictating what billion-dollar. I don't get it.
I don't mind
understand.
they
asking for
can.
trades. I don't mind.
But that's
asking
the
for
problem. They
trades.
shouldn't be able to do
Well, it's
what they're
knowing
doing.
it's knowing your worth to the
Yeah.
business. It's knowing your worth to the business.
But you
If were
signed a
in-
contract.
Here's my thing though. If you were in a company though, and you feel like you have leverage in a situation where you could try to get a raise, right? Are you not going to use your leverage?
That's not the point.
That
He's
is
not
the
getting a
point.
lazy.
No,
No, but
Right,
he's
he's
going
not-
where he wants to
He's
go.
making the same
Potato
money. He's
potato
just
chips.
going to a different city.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
Just
not
same
getting
thing.
a raise.
It's the same thing.
He's using his leverage
To
to make his situation.
But he
better.
has what leverage does he have?
That
He's
he
just
can
signed
do
a
whatever the
contract.
fuck he wants.
Well, that's
But that's the
not true.
problem, bro. They're not going to get as much back for him if no other team wants to trade for him. But Miami, obviously, they're not going to get as much back for him.
Well,
It's going to
there's-
be harder to trade him.
If he's saying he won't play anywhere else, then he has no value.
But that's not what he just
That's literally what these
kind of
reports
what
are
he's
saying.
saying. Yeah, it's rough. I still
Like,
think
what
they
do you
could
mean?
get
We're
a
getting
decent amount
reports
back.
that's saying it's heat or bust
It's
for
heat or bust
Damian
for
Lillard.
Dame,
What do you
yeah.
mean? Play ball, bro. Play ball.
Yeah, you're asking out. You can't be picky here now.
Right.
You're asking
Right.
out. If they
That's
send you
part
to
of
a
the
title
job.
contender, bro, like-
Exactly what Dean's saying. If you fucking wanted to choose where you get traded, you should have put a no trade clause on.
or yeah,
You're
negotiate
able
for
to
it.
negotiate that in the contract.
I'm sure they probably would have
They
caved
probably
in.
would have
Gave
gave it to
him.
him. To
They
be
probably
honest,
would've
gave
gave
him
it
the
to
He's one of
world.
those guys that
probably would have
could
gave
have
it
had
to him.
one.
whatever he would have asked, you would have got from Portland.
So
If Brad Beal could get one, then Damian Lillard could get one.
look, overall, I'm still not giving this the worst grade in the world. I'd say their offseason has been a C-.
I think
Because
Scoop
Scoop by
bumps it up
itself,
a lot.
bumps it
Yeah.
up, bro. Scoop by itself.
Yeah, I give it a B minus. I think you drafted Scoot, you drafted Chris Murray, you drafted what's that other dude's name they drafted? Whoever else. But and
Ryan Rupert.
Ryan Rupert, yes.
Rupert, yeah.
And
Rupert.
whether it was your choice or not, you picked a direction because Dame is going to be gone. So there's
Yes.
finally a direction for them. They're embracing the youth
That I
movement.
respect.
Yeah, so it definitely could have been worse. Like you said, the Jeremy Grant contract it's there, but they're in a position where Nurkic will probably be movable at some point. He might even be packaged with Dame. Who knows? But Jeremy Grant will be the only guy you're paying for a little bit.
It sucks because I'm not
You know
trying
what
to
I'm
knock
saying?
their
Yeah.
grade
And it's like
for that. It's more so Dame, bro. Like, it's just the Dame situation that sucks. The fact that he did this to them. Like, that's why I'm giving it such
It
a low
sucks,
grade.
but I think they're fine regardless. They're gonna get some sort of positive assets back for Dame,
Yeah,
They have
something.
and you're already in a good
What
spot.
happened?
What happened?
What are you doing?
Oh,
Oh.
Rip.
Ah.
Do they
Just like
still- do they
just
still
like
hear
that,
us?
we're a podcast.
Do they hear us?
Yeah, I still hear
They still hear the
Yeah.
audio, yeah.
You want
wanna
to
just finish it?
Just finish it?
yeah. Might as well.
Now let's cut it off here.
Might as well finish
Yeah,
it.
we might
like
as well.
this.
There aren't that many teams.
If you
left.
guys want to hear the rest, hit up the audio part of our stuff.
You can
on
still watch it
Spotify.
right here
Literally
on
still
this.
watch it here on YouTube. You don't gotta go
Just-
anywhere.
There we go.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
we are right. I think he's right either way. It's just changing the background. Yeah, it's just changing the backdrop.
No, but it removes us from the.
part of our stuff. You can still watch it.
Oh, wow.
We're removed from the stream.
Well, now we're
here
back.
now.
Now we're
Hi, guys.
back.
I don't know if
it's
y'all
an-
missed much of anything.
it's an
we're
A
on the
plus
Kings now, by the way.
because
We're on the Kings.
I think they were never gonna do much anyway this offseason. I don't think there was a splash to be made for them, honestly. I thought they drafted and they drafted exactly what they needed. They needed wings. They drafted two of the best wings in this class who looked the most ready to contribute right away in Jalen Slauson and Kobe Jones. You brought this dude over from the EuroLeague. Though we're seeing it time and time again. These EuroLeague guys are translating when they come in.
Yes.
So you added three wings who look like they could potentially play for you this year. Sabonis restructured his contract to give them more money and more leverage for the coming seasons. You brought back Harrison Barnes. You brought back Trey Lyles. So you're deep at the wing position. You have a bunch of guys who you could play to plug and play around De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Those are your two guys. What else do you need? Wings. You have a plethora of them. Some of them are going to be good on some nights, and you're going to be able to win games.
They made one other move. Completely forgot. They traded for Chris Duarte.
That's another wing.
That's a huge move.
A
in my
plus
opinion.
plus.
When he was
another
with
wing.
Sabonis, him and Sabonis actually had incredible chemistry.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, they're my only
that
A
actually
plus
changed
team.
my
So you
grade a
guys think the
bunch.
Pelicans are better?
Yes.
Yes, healthy.
I
Pelicans,
wouldn't be
yes.
shocked if the Pelicans finish above them, but I also wouldn't be shocked if the Kings finish above them. I think they're close.
I
I
think
would-
the
I would
Kings.
put money on it. You want to put money on it?
No, because they always get hurt.
Who?
The Pelicans.
I'll put money
So yeah,
on it.
the Kings are better.
Well,
I'll put
if
money on
the
it.
hy-
Both teams healthy. I
if
think
the
the Pelicans are
hypothetical is
better.
both teams are healthy,
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
the Pelicans and the
Anyways.
Kings are on similar tiers, or the same tier. I put them on.
What do you grade the Kings?
I give it an A.
I agree with you. I'm giving it a B plus.
I agree. B plus.
I agree
No, they
with
had
your
it- they
A
had-
plus, B plus.
They didn't make any big splash.
Stupid.
They signed Sabonis. They made a few trades here and there.
I'll
But
give
you
it.
don't
I'll give
agree
it.
with him
I'll give it an
exactly.
A minus. I agree.
I
just
agree.
think-
I agree.
I
Disagree.
could, all right,
answer.
I could swap from B plus to A minus.
I give it an A.
All right, then I give it an A.
I give it an A. I think the only thing I would have given an A plus for is if they traded for OG Anunoby, because I've been smashing the table for that.
Wow.
So very
Um,
sad about that.
I'm gonna go with Christian. I'm gonna go A plus. They just kept they improved on what was the greatest offense we've ever seen,
What?
and they gave the Warriors a fucking hell of a run for their money in the 7-game series for the first time in the playoffs in what 20 years.
Very true.
So true.
Okay. After that, we have the San Antonio Spurs.
A plus.
Notable moves. Trey Jones re-signed to a 2-year, $20 million contract.
That's notable.
Julian Champagnie, 4 years, $12 million contract. And yeah, I'm not gonna. Sorry.
And they got Wemby.
Really.
A
But
plus.
more important than anything else, they drafted one of the most generational talents we've ever seen in our entire life, and his name is Sidi Sissoko.
The most
Um,
generational talents.
Victor Wembanyama, obviously the first overall pick in this year's draft. It's an A plus plus. There's
A plus 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 plus.
A. Give me all the A pluses.
So many pluses.
They haven't.
there's
They
only
didn't do
one.
anything wrong.
I give it an A minus. Actually, an A, a regular A.
Regular A.
I
No-
would have
no
liked
lower.
to see them spend a little bit more money. Bring in
I
some
want
more
the Trey
guys.
Jones contract personally,
2
but
years,
I wish
20
they gave him
million.
more.
I wish
gave
they
him more
just
years.
brought in some more vets.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree
All
with
season's
that.
not over.
I also
Yeah.
think their young guys though are very mature.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
every
mean, yeah,
team needs
because they're in
vets.
San Antonio.
That's true.
Every team needs vets.
That's true.
Everyone who goes to San Antonio is
Yeah, I
just
like.
becomes it goes in the soul box.
The draft
Come
was
on.
obviously like A plus plus. You got Victor.
Yeah.
In terms of re-signing guys, Trey Jones was your most important player to re-sign, and you re-signed him. So like that's a great move too. I just think overall in free agent they signed Julian. They didn't bring anyone else in. You have a lot of young talent, yeah, but
You brought in the best young player available.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to be an interesting team this season. I think they might suck again, but like I could see them being solid if they're healthy. But yeah, I give them an A plus.
I'm gonna go regular A. Regular A sounds good.
You guys,
A plus.
A plus.
nice. Last team in the Western Conference,
Not the last team.
the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, A plus.
They signed Juan Toscano Anderson, I think.
Jordan
they-
Clarkson, they resigned.
They got.
Yeah.
They did re-sign Jordan Clarkson to a long-term deal.
3 years,
Um,
55 mil.
The other tab on this website isn't really grid.
And they, more importantly than anything else, traded for John Collins.
Yes.
For literally nothing.
For Rudy Gay.
For nothing. For Rudy. Sorry,
Yeah.
Rudy Gay. You're not nothing, but
Rudy
for
Gay, you're
Rudy Gay.
nothing.
He is. They did nothing wrong. I couldn't have asked them to do anything else. Give them an A plus.
They drafted well. I thought they drafted good value at all 3 picks in the first round.
Taylor Hendricks, Keontae George, and Bryce Sensabaugh. Yeah,
All those
that's
guys I think
phenomenal.
could have went higher than pick 9, pick 16, and pick
Yes.
30. So yeah,
I'll give him an A.
yeah, I give it an A, not an A plus. An A.
I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Wow. A minus.
Their summer
Team
league
nothing.
team might win the ring.
entire thing. Yeah. Overall, that's the entirety of the Western Conference. Obviously, next episode or the episode after that, we'll figure it out because we also have the NFC East and the AFC East to do.
We got a lot of stuff to do.
We do. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. That's a good thing.
We got to catch up.
It's a good thing. We do have to catch up. We might have to
Well,
record
we're-
too.
I like ketchup.
We have to record a couple episodes before we go
pre-record.
away. Probably pre-record. We have a lot of
Looking
stuff to
for
do.
for another member while we're gone. Half of us.
Yeah, maybe we just do the show without you 3. Me and Ortiz will
Honestly,
find some
try it.
ringers.
Find some-
Yo,
yeah,
the
yeah.
audible
Producer.
would go crazy.
Our
for that.
producer.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Get the shields.
No, we'd have crazy audibles. We're pulling in all the stops.
Yeah, we need people in person.
We're
to take
bringing
your
Magic
seats.
Johnson here.
You
Do
get
it.
bring the shields live and
Lizzie.
No, shut
All
up.
right.
Shut up. Anyways,
I can give you guys Selena for the day.
we're gonna try to.
Brian Newman said he wanted to come on the podcast, so you could have him.
My girl tells me all the time, Brian Newman has to be on the podcast. Brian Newman has
Who's
to be
Brian
on the
Newman?
podcast.
He's very knowledgeable about
He's a
sports.
kid who
Yeah.
played basketball. He's a good kid.
He's a
I mean,
good
I don't
kid.
really know him. I know of him.
He's a
I know
really
he's
good
friends
kid.
with Amanda,
He's a
but
very nice kid. Yeah, he knows.
he wants to be
knows
on the
sports.
podcast so bad.
He loves.
He fucks with us.
He loves
does he,
fantasy football.
Does he know
Yeah.
ball like that?
Yeah.
Fantasy
he
football
loves fantasy football,
guru.
especially.
Yeah.
He's a big time fantasy.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having him on a fantasy episode.
It's fantasy specific episode. Yeah, we're definitely doing that 32-man league, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
32 man.
For sure.
You need to stop.
Yeah. Can we end the pod?
Yeah.
32-man league. Yeah. Pull up.
And
How
Hell
many?
yeah.
How many teams you got left?
Western Conference.
We got
let's
to
go.
reserve. I mean,
We're done.
That's it.
That's it.
the
That's
end.
it.
That's the end.
Next episode is the Eastern Conference.
Let's go.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Before we end this, just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors over at SeatGeek. Yo, stop.
Stop, bro. Stop.
Please.
Stop.
I need to get through this. I want to
the
go to
camera's not on.
I know, but
That's not the point.
Just
Oh my
do it.
god. SeatGeek takes the complications out of buying tickets. They give each deal a score on a scale of 1 to 10, with green being a good deal and red being a bad deal. For $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, use BallGame Pod. Again, for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, please use our code BallGame Pod. Thank you again over to everybody at SeatGeek. Appreciate you guys a ton. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and with
I wish you guys could see.
Ball game. Ball game.
that was ball game.
Ball game. Ball game. Ball game. Ball game. Ball game. Ball game.
Ball game, 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 ball